Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I need to give you all an instruction. Members of the jury, you will notice that certain of the co-defendants are no longer before you for reasons that do not concern you. The prosecution of those co-defendants is no longer a part of this trial. You must not speculate, make assumptions, or draw any conclusions about the possible reasons for their absence, and their absence from this trial must not in any way affect your judgment or influence your verdict as to these defendants in this case. You must base your deliberations and your verdict solely on the evidence presented, and an individual determination of guilt or innocence must be made as to each defendant. All right, somebody from the state, if you all want to get Mr. Lee back on the stand, we will finish up with his testimony.
And how do we just ignore that? All right, okay. So today, Slimelife Shawty got back on the stand, and the state essentially wanted him to further explain the inner workings of YSL, the gang, right? Because the state has to essentially give up the case of YSL is not a record label kind of thing that they were doing. They had to kind of make it as though it's two. They're doing a horrible job at that. But to summarize, Doug and Max, well, Shard and Weinstein, I don't want to act like I know them like that, because then the state will infer something. Nah. Basically, what they were trying to do is get it to a point where you understand that everything that's posted by an artist is not particularly the artist making the post. They were able to establish Doug didn't sign anybody from the hood. I thought they did an all right job with that. They were able to establish that rappers, like we always know, and I think, I forget who the heck it was. I think Mano was the one who said this, and then Nelly kind of chimed in. So those are my points of references when they were in interviews. Mano once said that if you say that you sold a little bit of drugs as a rapper, nobody want to hear that. They want to hear you sold a whole boatload. You was getting it off the, off of the plugs, and you was flying to islands and all of this crap, knowing good and damn well majority of your favorite rappers don't even have a passport, let alone enough money to even carry that amount of drugs. And you definitely don't want a big time rapper doing all that, because it makes the spot hot. So there's that. Then added with this, and I think this part was important. Rappers are trying to get as much attention as possible. But I ain't gonna hold you. Miss Hilton, she did all right. I'm gonna show y'all her cross-examination.
He said he doesn't know anyway.
Sure. When you were asked about...
Go ahead and ask your next
what song? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just ask your next question.
You were asked about whether you've seen athletes use the word slime or slat and wipe their nose. Do you remember being asked that question?
Yeah.
The athletes that you were thinking of, are any of them associated with the gang YSL?
I don't know what they're associated with.
Have you seen any of the athletes that you were thinking of in the Cleveland Avenue neighborhood?
I don't remember. I didn't see them on Cleveland, I just see them online doing it.
Okay. Now, you were asked about whether your songs are fictional. Do you remember being asked a series of questions about that?
Yes.
All right. In the song that we played, Where You From, do you talk about Cleveland Avenue?
Yeah, I think I said I'm from Cleveland Avenue.
Is that a fiction that you're from Cleveland Avenue?
No.
Huh?
No.
Okay. You talk about Little Rod in that song. Is that a real person?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's not fiction. Is that fair to say?
No.
Okay. You also talk about Big Boo in that song. Is that a real person?
Yeah, he's a real person.
All right. You talk about Woody in that song. Is that real?
Is he a real person?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a real person.
All right. You talk about Poke in that song. Is Poke a real person?
Yeah.
Okay. You talk about Shannon in that song. Is that a real person?
Yeah, he's a real person.
You talk about Took in that song. Is that a real person?
Yes.
So would you say that that song specifically is not a song that is fictional?
That's a... I'll withdraw my objection.
Answer.
Yeah, you can answer.
Can you ask the question again?
Sure. So would you say that there's portions of that song that are not fictional?
There is certain parts, like I guess the names are not fake.
Mm-hmm. You talked about Boo being called a rat. Is that something that was fictional?
Him being a rat is fictional? Or
Being
him
called a rat.
Yeah,
Yes, that is fictional that he was called a rat?
he was called a rat.
So that's true.
Right.
Court's indulgence for... In your experience, or to your knowledge, do some rappers rap about their lived experiences or rap about crimes that they have committed in the past?
You said, do they rap about the crimes they have committed in the past?
Yes, to your knowledge.
I don't know if it's real or fake, what they did in their past or not. I don't know.
Court's indulgence for a moment.
All right, any recalls?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lee, you are free to go. We'll go ahead and take our lunch break right
I
now.
wish they would have just jumped back in with at least a lyric that was so freaking egregious. But Hilton tried to, and I don't think she should have did it. That's why I couldn't give her an A for that. But she definitely get a B for her last statement that basically was like, bro, what you talking about? Everything ain't fake. Because at the end of the day, it's not all fake. But she would have gotten an A if she would have left the part out where you say some of this stuff ain't true. You essentially just made the freaking case. But like she said, hey, some of the stuff you talking about, bro, some of this stuff is real, ain't it? And he basically was like, yeah. But neither here nor there. The state and what they're trying to do as far as why they're still here is basically still go, this is all a game, this is all a game, this is all a game, this is all a game. They're trying to make sure that they show a propensity of violence with SB and Yak. Let's just be fair. That's what they're trying to do. That doesn't mean they're right or wrong. I'm just telling you what they're trying to do. Added with what they're going to eventually get. In my opinion, with time served and all this crap and everything like that, I don't believe Miss Whitaker, from what she's already sentenced people, is really going to F people over. I don't. If this case actually finishes at maximum, I think, not that I know, but from what I think they have proven enough for a RICO, conspiracy-wise. But that's 5 to 20, and I'm gonna be fair. I don't think that that Paige Whitaker is gonna sit up here and bam them boys off the rip. Meaning she gonna send them up the hill. She might give them 3 years. I mean, not 3 years. She might give them 6. I'm thinking that, to me. I don't think right now, as it stands, doesn't mean that Max doesn't mean that Weinstein and Sharp can't come up with something and basically blow it out the water. Not saying that. But as far as it looks like at max that's what they can get. If they're able to basically narrow their information and evidence. But right now, have they proven it? No. But can they get it going? Yeah. Now, when it comes to how we're seeing this case as it stands right now, as far as is Weinstein and Sharp basically screwed over? Nah, not necessarily, because you got to think about it. All the lawyers, you had to kind of confer with them about how we should attack this. If you notice how sharp both of them were, it was kind of like, this ain't bad. Let's see how it goes. So let me show you some highlights, because the last video I'm going to show y'all is a mic drop moment. And I think y'all might laugh at this. So let me get y'all in with this.
Did you perform this autopsy?
On Sunday, February 24th, 2019.
And you have testified at hearings regarding this case previously, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, and the defendants in this case in the death of Jamari Holmes were Rodelius Ryan and Damone Blaylock, correct?
I do not know.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further.
Boom. That's how you do it. That's literally how you do it. There was no reason that lady should be here. None. But I think that goes into trying to further the RICO part of it. Bruh, Lil Rod don't got nothing to do with none of this stuff. Demoyne Blaylock has nothing to do with those two individuals right there. None of that crap. So, once again, what are we doing here? And that's why y'all see, at max, she can get a B as far as Miss Hilton goes. But let's continue on.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Detective Stornow.
Good afternoon.
I know I briefly introduced myself to you a few minutes ago, but I am Doug Weinstein. I am Diamante Kendrick's lawyer.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Let's talk about the home on Allison Way for a few minutes. You said this home was Jeffrey Williams' home, correct?
That's correct.
Are you aware of all the other people that were living in the home at the time?
Not all of the individuals, no.
Okay, but you were aware other people other than Jeffrey Williams were living in that home at the time?
There were definitely other people that were residing in the house.
Mr. Kendrick was not one of the people that resided in that home.
We have reason to believe that he was living in the residence for some days leading up to the search warrant.
He was a guest in the home, correct?
It depends how you want to say he was a guest, or was he staying for an extended stay?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Can you, Ms. Knight, would you put up, let's put up 5XX, please. Publish that. By the way, while that's being published, when you looked around this house was like a party house, wasn't it? I mean, what's your opinion when you saw that?
Objection, Your Honor. Call for speculation.
When you went in the house, with 5XX up here, let's look in the lower left corner of 5XX. What do you see in the lower left corner?
Some red, you talking about the red cups?
Yeah, the red cups.
Uh-huh.
How many, I'll call them red Solo brand cups. How's that?
Okay.
How many of those red Solo brand cups do you see there?
Just depicted here in the photo, I can see at least 7, maybe 6 or 7.
6 or 7. And they're in those like a racking a billiard cue setup, right?
That's correct.
Is that the type of thing that, do you have one of those in your home?
I do not know.
Okay. Neither do I, but I guess that's neither here nor there.
No, it's not, so let's
so
not
what
be
about-
making commentary.
Okay, Your Honor. What about your knowledge of Mr. Williams? You know this home was occupied by, or the resident of this home, is someone that suffered from drug problems. Are you aware of that?
Objection, Your Honor. Assume the facts not admitted in evidence.
Sustained.
Okay, let's talk about what you found in the home. The marijuana that you found, what appears to be marijuana that you found in the home. Was Mr. Kendrick holding that marijuana when he was apprehended, arrested?
No.
Was Mr. Kendrick, oh, let's put up 9XX, please. Could you publish 9XX? I'm not going to go through these one by one. I don't want to belabor the point. Okay, 9XX. That marijuana that you, or what looks like marijuana that's there, was Mr. Kendrick found around that marijuana?
I don't believe he was, I believe he was apprehended attempting to exit the residence.
Oh,
So not near that marijuana right there, no.
Okay, we'll get into where he was apprehended in the future, but he was not, as far as you know, around this marijuana when he was apprehended, when he was arrested.
Well, he was inside the residence.
He was arrested from inside the residence.
I'm asking, like, are you saying, was he within a certain amount of feet of the marijuana, or?
Sure, was he within arm's length of the marijuana?
No, I do not believe he was.
Okay, was this taken off of his body?
No.
Were any of these drugs, I don't want to go one by one, so let's try general if that'll work. Were any of these drugs that you've shown today, were any of these drugs taken off of Mr. Kendrick?
No, not off his person, no.
Okay. What about the numerous weapons that's been shown to you today that you've shown? Were those taken off Mr. Kendrick?
Not his person, no.
Were they found within his arm length?
Within his arm length, no.
Okay. Here, let's look at, what is this number? Okay. 62XX, what, alpha?
I'm sorry, Mr. Weinstein. Yeah, that's 62 X-ray alpha.
Okay, 62 X-ray alpha. I'm going to hand you one of these. Your Honor, may I give the jury some samples of 62 X-ray?
You may not.
They'll return it. Okay. 62 X-ray alpha. Let's look at that. Can you read what's on the front label of 62 X-ray alpha?
Sure. It has YSL, Young Stoner Life, slime drink syrup, pink cotton candy, 420 milligrams, 8 THC, net weight 5 ounces, 150 milliliters.
Okay, and what's before the 8? Does that look like a delta to you, like it says delta 8?
Yes,
Okay, so it's delta 8 THC, at least according to the label, correct?
that's correct.
And that's the same kind of delta 8 THC that you can buy all around Atlanta at the stores.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so let's look at the back for just a moment. Can you turn it over and look at the back label?
Yes.
I'm not going to have you read all of that, but it says pink cotton candy, 420 milligrams, delta 8 THC, correct?
Correct.
And what's the word below that?
The warning.
Warning. And below that warning is a long paragraph of, if you want to read it over first, that's fine, but a long paragraph of warnings about use of the product, correct?
Yes.
And it's the type of warning you'd see on, other products that you might buy at a drugstore, correct?
Correct.
Below that warning, the next pink printing you see, what does that say?
Ingredients.
Would you read the ingredients, please?
Allulose, simple syrup, sodium, benzoate, citric acid, food coloring, flavor additive, cannabinoid distillates from hemp, sunflower, lecithin.
Okay. I don't know how any of that's pronounced.
I probably
either.
messed it up.
No. The, back to the warning just a minute. Would you just read the first sentence of the warning, please?
In accordance with the provisions of the 2018 Farm Bill, this product contains no more than 0.3% Delta 9
You can just say THC if you'd like.
THC on a dry weight basis.
Okay. So again, this is assuming this is correct as to what's in it, this is the same type of thing that is available for sale around Atlanta.
It may be. I haven't seen it in the...
Okay, below ingredients, there's another pink text. What does that text say?
Directions.
Would you read that?
Must shake well, mix with favorite drink, and enjoy.
And 1 capful per serving, correct?
That's correct.
And then at the very bottom, what type of label, what do you see on that part of the label?
You talking about the nutrition facts or the...
the nutrition facts.
Uh-huh.
So there's nutrition facts there. What's it say there?
20 servings. Each serving size is 1 cap, 7.5 milliliters.
Okay, and it's got the serving size, amount per serving. It has your carbs. If you're tracking your calories, that's there, right? So it's the same type of nutrition label you see on all kinds of other products, correct?
Correct.
What's below that for manufacturer?
Below the manufacturer is a website.
No, I'm sorry. Where it says manufactured by, what does that read?
Elemental Extractions, Huntington, West Virginia, with the 25705 zip code.
Okay. So this does not seem like a particularly nefarious product, given the warning, the ingredients, the directions. It's like any other product you might buy, correct?
I guess it's any other Delta 8 product. You may buy.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Boom. Come on, bro. You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of this.
Right up to the General's Palace, drop it at his feet. I'm like, boom, you looking for this? General's Palace, I drop it at his feet. I'm like, boom, you looking for this?
Would you point out again where you first saw Mr. Kendrick?
Can you turn the other way so you can kind of be facing the jury so they can make sure they hear you talking?
First time I saw him, he was somewhere over here, I believe.
Okay, thank you. Did you see Mr. Kendrick exit the house?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay. And you can be seated. I don't believe I have any more questions that require you to stand. And did I also hear you say that Mr. Kendrick was not armed when you apprehended
Yes.
him? Okay. Do you remember him telling you that he was scared
No.
and wanting his mom?
I remember him calling his mom.
Okay. Thank you. I have no more questions.
All right. Ms. Shawty, any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for your time. You may step down, call your next witness.
So the state brings in a guy who, the last clip you saw, basically was about a shooting that happened at a house to them. The reason for that, and I'm assuming, this is just what I would think, is you're doing that to show that there's a lot of violence that follows these guys. All right, so be it. But allowing Doug to just say that and say he ran crying for his mama, that ain't gangster. State, y'all can't let him not look like a gangster, not look like a thug. Gangsters don't cry for mommy, help, and all that. That's why the state can't get an A. Because I know there's people who are going to say Seti Nash is biased and stuff, and I understand this, but my problem with some of the individuals who are the detractors in the comments, If these are supposed to be heartless thugs and all of this crap and everything like that, why are we allowing them to just come out and say, oh, I fear for my life. I need my mama. Where my mama at? I sound like an afraid little boy. And if y'all think I'm dissing Diamante Kendrick or anything like that, nah, that's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to get y'all to understand there's a level of empathy that was surrounded within that sentence. Good job. But back to the drug dealing, willing, and all that and everything like that. Let's be fair. If these cops ran into some of these college dorms, women and men included, you don't think they would find a lot of that stuff? Then the fact that y'all didn't even know that it was technically legal lean, bruh. Why the state can't get an A? Might have to put that on a shirt, bruh. That was just dumb. Because this man was supposed to be so dope at his job that y'all could bring him in there and all of this stuff. And this is the half-ass stuff, the sloppiness of it all, the messiness of it all that the state continues to do. There's no reason that man should have been there. You just basically said, hey, a party house and all of this crap, oh, they had some weed. You gonna tell me the generation before, those individuals, they weren't smoking weed? I guarantee you, if they polled all of those jurors and asked them if they knew who Snoop Dogg was and what he was known for, I guarantee you, and I'm not saying the ages of these people and stuff like that. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just saying Snoop is in his 50s and been rapping for 30 plus years. You don't think that they're gonna say, yeah, Snoop raps about weed? Then if you poll them again, have you ever hit the marijuana? The wacky tobacco, the devil's lettuce? The green stuff that give you a mean puff? You don't think? Come on, bro. I don't understand the state and what they're trying to pull with certain witnesses, because that one wasn't the one. You damn near just showed exactly what the judge did. And one of these days, I think the judge is going to go off on the state in front of the jurors. She has done a very, very good job of going off on the state behind closed doors. She has. Glanville, he wouldn't have did that. The dog would have been barking and shaking. He would have been pointing his finger and yelling and halfway got up because he's not a tall man at all, and would have basically called out the defense for not helping the state. He might get on Adrian Love a little bit, but it's hard not to. But I ain't gonna hold you. If Love would have crossed Slimelife Shawty, I think that would have went way, way better for the state. And I'm not saying, hey, Adrian Love, get up there and toot your own horn. But do y'all think a lot of these mistakes that were made and had and all this stuff and everything will be going on? I don't believe so. As far as it goes for the state today, what did you ultimately prove? You brought in something that had nothing to do with him, so it doesn't make sense. Like, I'm just wondering, are you gonna say my friends are bad and I'm bad too, and then bring up people who literally were there after I got shot at, and then you try to give us some drug charges, but it's weed, so it's not weed. Doesn't, if this was 30 years ago, the stigma on weed, definitely you would have had it. But now that we're in 2024, it's not gonna work. I'm not saying it. Y'all literally out your mouth already called it Young Stoner Life Records. Now, I can't tell you for the life of me, hey, if Young Stoner Life means that they're getting high every day, but I know good and damn well it don't mean that they throwing stones. So it is what it is, man. I'm not seeing it yet. And like I said, at maximum, I don't see the state getting anything more than just the RICO charge on these two individuals. And from what I understand about Miss Whitaker, from how she was speaking about these individuals, granted, I didn't like some of the years that she gave. I don't see her as giving anybody no more than 6. And you already have time served. But like I told Doug Weinstein in the interview last night, I'll pin it in the comments. Y'all not taking this dang thing to verdict. They're just not. It's going to get dismissed with prejudice. Well, mistrial with prejudice because the state is that damn dumb. I think they'll learn from their mistakes. And the remaining individuals of YSL, I feel bad for them. Keep it fair, square, obvious, and honest. But we'll see how it goes, man. If it does go to verdict, we'll be out there. I didn't want to show up to the last thing because I think that would have went bad as far as like the perception of the channel. But y'all let me know. Share to keep your people aware. Subscribe, turn that bell, stay notified. And I'll catch you on the next one.